I wish I were here to announce a tentative agreement at one or more of these companies, but I do want to be really clear. We are making significant progress. In just 3 weeks, we have moved these companies further than anyone thought was possible.
Well, that was UAW President Shawn Fain speaking just moments ago. And for more, let's bring in Bloomberg Detroit Bureau Chief David Welch. And David, this is the first time in 3 weeks that we haven't actually seen the strike expanded necessarily, but there's still a lot of distance here.
Yeah, I think there is, but it's also probably the most positive that UAW President Shawn Fain has been. I think the big breakthrough, in fact, he said the big breakthrough is that General Motors has agreed to some sort of foundation that will bring future battery workers into the UAW's master agreement, which is what they're working on right now for the next 4 years. No specifics on it in terms of pay or compensation or how it's going to be handled, but it's a pretty big concession because automakers are worried about the profitability of electric vehicles going forward, and they're going to be paying higher wages for the workers who make the battery cells that go into them.
Well, I mean, this does appear to have been one of the big sticking points, and I guess the fact that we're learning there's been some sort of commitment by that, at least with GM, is certainly encouraging. What about some of the other big issues, though, David, that we know were on the table here? Have they made progress on any of those?
It sounds like they have on pay. Ford has upped its offer on pay raise to 23%. The other two companies are still at 20%, but they were all stuck around 20% for the past few weeks in terms of offers. So it sounds like Ford's budging there, and the others will probably have to follow. Pensions are the one issue I think he didn't talk about. It's still outstanding. There's still a lot of back and forth on that. I don't think they'll go back to these defined benefit pension plans that were a thing of that, I go back to the 90s when steel and rail companies went bankrupt, and later GM and Chrysler did, with pensions being one of the big liabilities. They're not going to want to go back to that, but I think the union will get some sort of enhancement to the 401k plans. But I think that's one of the big issues on the table. There are always a lot of things around work rules that do cost the companies money that they're less of a headline item, I should say, but they are important in these agreements. You got to remember the UAW contracts are 600 or 700 pages, so there's a lot of stuff in there. Yeah. But those are the big issues, and it sounds like in terms of pay, in terms of cost of living, and now battery plants, there's progress on different fronts of the three companies on all of these things, to the point where the union doesn't believe they have to expand this.